If you're trying to run a 3D printing business out of your garage, you know that space is at a premium. Here in our garage, we have 7 3D printers and almost no space to put them. We need a more efficient way of storing them. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Eric and this is Rowdy's Prints. Today we're going to look at how we can take our Bambu Labs A1 printers and store them more efficiently on the shelving that we have set aside for them. Right now our AMS units are literally just sitting on the shelf next to the A1. And while this works for most situations, it does not work for us. So today we're going to put the AMS Lite on top of the Bambu Labs A1 printer. In order to do this, you'll need to go to Maker World, and I'll put a link in the description, and download the files that are already pre-sliced for your A1, and you'll print out the A1 mounts that are in the file. In front of me I have all of the parts that we're going to need to assemble the AMS on top of the A1. In order to do that, we have 2 sets of parts that we're going to use. The first one is a stiffener for the frame. So you have a left and right stiffener, and these are going to attach to the actual vertical frame on the A1. And what this will do is help to make your frame a little bit more rigid, and given that you have a lot more weight on the top of your printer now, it should minimize, or at least hopefully minimize, some of the vibrations and oscillations that will occur from having that weight so far up. And then you'll have the actual mount pieces that are going to allow you to mount the A1 AMS on top of the frame. So with that, we've got everything in front of us here. It's time to grab a printer. Now that we have the printer in front of us, we can take a look at exactly what we need to do. So first thing we're going to do is make sure that you have your A1 toolkit with you that came with the printer when you bought it. Next, take quick inventory of what we have parts-wise here. So the first thing we're going to put on are these stiffening legs. But before we assemble them, or before we put them onto the printer, there are these, I call it the squishy little dampers, and those are going to slide into the bottom of your legs, just like that. I should have one more here. There we go. That part is assembled. And next what we have to do is take these clamps, and we're going to have to put them onto the base of the Z right here. So each side has its own associated with it, and go ahead and try and get it around it, and then it needs to rotate like that. A little bit of cracking, it's a little scary. There we go. Now next, these are directional, so you need to make sure that you put the right on the right, the left on the left. The cutout will go on the base of your printer, just like that. All right, that slides in, and then this clamp slides down and locks everything in place. So try it on this side. Perfect. Okay. The directions recommend M3 by 12 or M3 by 10 screws in order to actually assemble all of this. So we'll get with that. did notice one discrepancy when comparing the assembly to the actual unit itself. It does look like there are 4 additional screw holes, which it does not account for the screws in the parts list. So I did grab 4 additional M3x10s to actually affix the legs here to the frame. There are 4 screw holes, 2 on each, and so I'll just assemble those, and then our base is complete. All right, and just like that, the base is complete. So we've got a total of 12 M3x10 or 12 to assemble the base. And now we can move on to the top. All right, let's get started on the top portion, the actual AMS mount. So Bambu Labs recommends that you use the grease packet that came in your A1 accessory kit. Unfortunately, mine has already been used, so I am going to use what I have on hand, which is just white lithium grease that I use for some of my other projects. So I'll make sure to not get this close to the bed, and I'll put a little bit in. All right, let that settle in for a moment, and we'll get started. Now, the base portion here is going to assemble right on there. You can see the bottom and the top meet into each other, and we'll rotate it. Now, this is kind of a key setup. So you do have a key which is going to slide in right here and should snap in, and that locks it in to keep from coming out. In addition, we have a screw which can go in, and that'll keep it from rotating and locking it in place. For the actual clamp that will latch it tightly, Bambu Labs says that it needs 2 M3x23. These are M3x25, and we'll just attach those onto the sides. All right, and our part is now assembled. So what we're going to do, the latch back here, just make sure that that latch works. Sounds like it works. We'll go over the top of the printer. It locks in, and then our latch, come back here, and locks in. Very, very secure, at least it seems like it. I guess time will tell on that. And then we have 4 more of our M3x10 or M3x12 screws, and that's how we're actually going to mount the AMS onto the top. So to do that, we'll take our AMS here, and we'll take the base off. All right, base. The base is removed. All right, the AMS is going to be secured with these 4 screws. There are only 2 screws per side. Last 2 screws. All right, everything is fully assembled on the top end. All we have left to do now is to put our 4-into-1 combiner back in. And snap our cable back in. Alrighty. There's only one last thing that I'm going to do. I don't think it's necessarily a requirement, but with the bed moving back and forth and the cable on the back here, I'm going to zip tie it to the base just to keep it from hitting the bed when the bed is moving. So the area I'm talking about is on the back corner of the printer. I'll just secure a zip tie around the base. Like that. And then we'll plug our printer back in to the port in the back. And then we should have a free range of movement. And there you have it, folks. That is putting your AMS Lite on top of your A1. So what am I going to do with this? Well, let me show you. With our current layout, we can't put two A1 units on a shelf. In order to ensure future upgradability and expandability, we're going to put two A1s on a shelf with the AMS lights on top, allowing for future expansion should we so choose. Thank you guys for joining me and putting this AMS Lite on top of the A1 here. I think for our business personally, it is going to make a significant difference in how we're able to utilize the space here. Again, for those of you that haven't been following along, highly recommend you go back and check out our first video. It outlines the space that we have to work with here in our garage, which isn't much, and kind of some of the compromises and things that we've had to do in order to make it work. So if you like this content and you'd like to see more of it, please click that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on those notifications. We are a small YouTube channel, so every single one of those likes and subscribes means a million to us. So thank you. We'll see you next time.